Thank you very much. My name is Guy Smith. I'm a Democrat, and I'm running for governor. I'm not a career politician, and I'm not a career candidate. A lot of them in the race. I'm not going to stand up here and give you a weather report. You know how bad things are. What I am going to do is stand up here and tell you what I am going to do and what I'm not going to do. One thing I'm not going to do is raise your taxes. Second thing, teachers, unions, and state workers are not going to be the enemy in my administration. The politicians, my competitive candidates stand up here and say, I'll fight for organized labor. Well, that's nice. We fought and we lost. Too bad. What I'm telling you is I will not abrogate the CPAC contract. I will not abrogate the teachers' contracts. I will not abrogate collective bargaining. We don't need to do that. This is the most educated workforce in the country. In Connecticut, I think maybe the teachers ought to have a little credit for that. Connecticut works. People get up and go to jobs. Jobs. That's my economic plan. We need to recruit people into the state. We need to recruit millennials into the state. We need to give them first-time home buyer credits. That will help those small communities and the inner cities. Think about it. You drive around this state, you see empty buildings everywhere. Everywhere. Think Route 128 in Boston, Silicon Valley, the Oregon Forest. You create a place for the millennials to come and do their startups. Put them in those buildings, wire them for the internet. Give them free office space for 5 employees for up to 2 years. You create anchors of taxpayers. You also bring people into the state, which means we need more teachers. More teachers in the pool, and the pension drops the pressure on the pension system. These are the kind of things. We need an infrastructure bank for advanced manufacturing, underpinned with the credit of the state of Connecticut. Won't cost you a dime, but it gives access to hundreds of companies, access to capital, microfinancing in the inner city. Those are the kind of things. I'm going to take the DOT and turn it upside down. The management, not the guys driving the snowplows. Tolls. Tolls annoy people. I'm not going to run a government that annoys people. Every one of these candidates that's been up here has not told you they want to raise taxes, and they've said they're for tolls. That's $800 million of your money. That's a tax increase. There's a way to do this. We'll figure out a way for people from Massachusetts and Rhode Island and New York to pay tolls, and you don't, with tax credits. We can do this. It is done in other states. It's not a new idea. You don't have to pay for the roads. You're already paying for them with the taxes you're paying. Why? I said I was going to turn DOT upside down. Why does it cost twice as much to build a bridge in Connecticut than it does in Massachusetts, and then twice as long? We're going to find out why. And that's how we're going to do this without having to raise your taxes and without having to lay off state workers who we need to keep the roads going. It takes a new kind of management in a sophisticated financial world. Now, these Trump Republicans. You know, a teacher used to be able to buy a box of crayons for their class and deduct it from the state income tax, from their federal income tax, as a business expense. That went away with the Trump tax scam. But if Pratt & Whitney shuts down their factory, every dime they spend shutting it down and moving it to Bangladesh is tax deductible. That is wrong. And then there's this lunacy of sending the teachers to Navy SEAL school to arm and protect the 6th grade. This is absurd. I was with teachers last week in Brentford, and I was sitting at the table and I said, you guys look pretty tough. And they looked at me like, nobody's ever called us tough. And I said, well, you're heading off to Navy SEAL school. And of course they erupted because they, of course, think it's lunacy. We need common sense kind of laws that Senator Chris Murphy and Senator Blumenthal are advocating. We need to pass the Stock bill and the ghost gun bill that's in our legislature. And I've got some other things we're going to be talking about on guns that will change the landscape. Every Trump Republican office holder in the state of Connecticut, from Greenwich to Mystic, has not said who when the Trump guys said they want to put an oil well out in Long Island Sound. Not one of them has said a word. This is what we must protect Connecticut against. They're taking away insurance for little kids. Insurance for little kids. They're taking away home heating assistance for that 75-year-old widow who has no income. We will stop this. Connecticut is what's called a giver state. That means for every dollar of federal money you send to Washington, only 80 cents comes back. But if in Alabama, $1.32 comes back. We're going to flip that. I'm going to put an office in the Department of Economic Development whose sole job is to help any entity in the state of Connecticut get their share of federal money, whether it's an electric boat building another nuclear sub, or a daycare center down the street, or an economic institution or an academic institution. Now, all of these things, there's no home run in the bottom of the ninth. It takes incremental hundreds of these kinds of ideas in order to get this done. We can do it, and we can do it together. I'm a big critic of Trump, but I've never said I won't talk to the Trump Republicans in our legislature. Have to talk, have to come together. Questions? I couldn't possibly answer all of them. You guys are great to have. There's a question.
So you talked about getting millennials into housing.
Yes.
How would you be able to implement a program such as that?
The way you do that, you know how IBM goes to college campuses and recruits. Say, come work for IBM, we're a great company. State of Connecticut needs to go to Oklahoma State and University of Tennessee and Howard University. Come work for here. She's making me stop, but I'll come back and answer. Hey, if I complain about not getting to talk, can I talk a second time?